Ladies and gentlemen, the books is in. The books are in. Yep. They in. They're here.
Log in to KofiPaisaTV.com and get Spears of the Mossy Volume 1 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, from Spears the Pen Volume 2 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, Spiritual Combat Volume 3 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, One Night Before Bed by Any Harek Shun Calfunny, Kalawa's Trip to the Motherland by Kofi Paisa, From Cocaine to Consciousness by Any Harek Shun Calfunny, As I Learned, We All Learn by Kofi Paisa. Also, if you want fresh merch, go to our online store, Family Connect Apparel, and get all the brands. Also, get our 54 deck of quiz and educational cards available now on KofiPaisaTV.com.
ETM Hotel, Rennie Sean. Welcome in peace. My name is Sean. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into Science with Sean. I'm not going to keep everybody here this late impromptu, but I do want to make or lay out an argument, maybe revisit topic of conversation. Peace to Keenan, Stacy, Omar, Ms. Blackwell, peace, Sutek, and all the other people who may be watching the replay. Like the show, share the show, tell a friend, tell a friend. Ms. Blackwell, you got that first dose, huh? And anytime you want to come up, and speak about it, just let me know. Hit me up. You and Jeremy, if y'all want to join the panel and have a discussion about it or whatever you want to do, this the opportunity for that. If you want to talk about that experience, just let me know. You feel free. We could do it Friday or Saturday. It's up to you. So what I want to do though, while I got some of y'all attention, is I want to make a statement. I'm getting my second one on Friday. Wow, it's already been okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. So yeah. If you want to come on Friday, if you up to it, Friday afternoon or whatever, or evening, just get Jeremy, send me a message, Facebook, whatever, and we can do that. So yeah, congratulations on that. And then, about 2 weeks after that second dose, you'll be fully vaccinated. So big shout out. Also shout out to a few other people who actually sent me messages saying that they got their vaccine. They're trying to protect themselves and their family members. Good. Big shout out to you. What up, Brother Chavis? So again, like the show, share the show, tell a friend, we live. We finna go all the way in. So what I want to do now is I want to turn your attention to a problem. It's a real big problem. As you can see, the title of the video is Asymptomatic Exposure, the Case of the Virus Spreaders. What up, Nunu? There's a reason why I labeled it that way. Because you could call it irresponsible, or you can call it ignorant. What up, Jeremy? Or you can call it just the way people are in general. When it comes to this, So I want to make sure that I don't leave no stone unturned with this particular position. Last year, there was a projected 17 million undiagnosed asymptomatic infections walking around. If they just came into contact with 3 people, between 3 and 5 people, you do the math on that. 17 million. What am I saying? Right? Not everybody had severe COVID. We understand that. But asymptomatic people, and we said this at the onset of the pandemic, that asymptomatic carriers make severe, the potential threat of severe infection prominent. They are weaponizing the virus, right? Because it didn't infect them, it mutated and adapted in them, and then it spread to another person, in which that person was infected, got sick, had symptoms, had to quarantine, had to go to the ER a couple of times, probably a ventilator, probably other conditions, probably long COVID, other health condition situations accumulated from that, potentially death, right? All from not knowing that they were infected. They took it as a summer cold, slight headache, nothing like that. Now imagine another 100 million people unvaccinated, walking around, no mask, all on the beaches of Florida, everywhere you want to go. Everywhere you're vaccinated behind want to go, they're there. And then they're sitting here asking you, well, you vaccinated, why you care about me? Because you pose a threat to humanity with a novel virus roaming. Facts, breathing all in your air. Big facts. So before I even get into sharing my screen, I want to start the discussion off with something. Undiagnosed SARS-CoV-2 seropositivity during the first 6 months of COVID-19 pandemic in the United States. Asymptomatic SARS-CoV-2 infection and delayed implementation of diagnostics have led to poorly defined viral prevalence rates in the United States and elsewhere. To address this, we analyzed seropositivity in 9,089 adults in the United States who had not been diagnosed previously with COVID-19. Individuals with characteristics that reflected the U.S. population were selected by quota sampling from 462,949 volunteers. Enrolled in participants provided medical, geographic, demographic, and socioeconomic information and dry blood samples. Survey questions coincident with the Behavioral Risk Factor Surveillance System survey, a large probability-based national survey, were used to adjust for selection bias. Most blood samples were collected between May the 10th and the 31st of July 2020 and were processed using the ELISA to measure seropositivity in these people. Now, the overall weighted undiagnosed seropositivity estimated was 4.6, with race, age, sex, ethnicity, and urban rural subgroup estimates ranging from 1.1 to 14.2%. The highest seropositivity estimates were in African American participants, younger female and Hispanic participants, and residents of urban centers. These data indicated that there were 4.8 undiagnosed SARS-CoV-2 infections for every diagnosed case of COVID-19. An estimated 16.8 million infections were undiagnosed by mid-July of 2020 in the United States. Anything that I say will be in the description of this particular video. In a new study, the NIH researchers reported that prevalence of COVID-19 in the United States during the spring and summer of 2020 far exceeded the known number of cases, and that infections affected the country unevenly. For every diagnosed COVID case in this time frame, the researchers estimated that there were 4.8 undiagnosed. I'm going to say that again. For every diagnosed COVID-19 case, there was an estimated 4.8 undiagnosed, almost 5. One in 5. For every one infection, there were 5 undiagnosed infections. By July alone, the team's analysis of blood samples from people who did not have a previously diagnosed SARS-CoV-2 infection, along with the socio-health demographic data, offers insight into undetected spread of the virus and subgroup vulnerability to undiagnosed infections. Now, this study helps account for how quickly, hold on, my bad, y'all. If you're on a laptop or a tablet or something like that, that may look a little bit better. On your cell phone, it may look a little blurry, but work with me. This study helps account for how quickly the virus spreads to all corners of the country and globe, says Bruce Tromberg, PhD director of the NIBIB, one of the NIH institutes who runs the NIH SARS-CoV-2 seroprevalence project. The information will be invaluable as we assess the best public health measures needed to keep people safe as new and even more transmissible variants emerge and vaccine antibody responses change over time. In addition to the NIBIB, the research team included scientists from the NIA and Infectious Disease and National Center of Advancing Translational Sciences and Frederick National Laboratory for Cancer, sponsored by the National Cancer Institute. Their report in the 22nd of June in 2021, early online issue of Science Translation Medicine, represents the first data from the 12-month NIH study that was launched in April of last year. Okay. Now, hallmark of the coronavirus pandemic is there are people infected with the virus that causes COVID-19 who have few or no symptoms. That's a fact. Now, I'm just going to highlight here. COVID-19 illnesses can range from short-lived cough, fatigue, and fever to severe illness that could lead to hospitalization and death. Asymptomatic SARS-CoV-2 infection, which is rarely diagnosed, is a silent source of viral spread. Asymptomatic SARS-CoV-2 infection, which is rarely diagnosed, is a silent source of viral spread, while not causing overt signs of illness, undiagnosed infection poses a danger to the public and is a critical factor in necessitating public health resources and strategies for addressing the pandemic. Now, the team recruited over 240,000 volunteers across the country. They selected 8,058 samples. 11-week span period was the testing result, and here's what the team observed. The youngest participants were those between the ages of 18 and 44. They had the highest estimated seropositivity. So I want to go ahead and share with you what seropositivity is. Seropositivity is given a positive result in a test of blood serum, i.e. or e.g., for the presence of a virus. Estimated seropositivity was higher in females than in males, 5.5 versus 3.5 respectively. Participants in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeastern regions had the highest rates, and participants in the Midwest and the lowest rates. Urban participants had a higher estimated seropositivity compared with the rural participants. And of course, Black people led the charge. Native American, Alaskan, and Native Hispanic, and White, Caucasian, and Asian followed. The estimated COVID-19 cases in the United States in mid-July with 3 million in a population of 330 million should be revised upwards by almost 20 million, where the percent of asymptomatic positive results is included. So they're going all the way back to July and say the 3 million that we was at was really more like 20 million. Remember, this study was for a year. So I want to go on to another study. I can't zoom this one right. Now that's an abstract, and I'm not going to go through the full PDF file, but I'm going to give you some samples. Again, all the sources will be in the description of the video. Anyone want to challenge the information that I present, feel free to grab the source, review the source, critique the source, come back with your ammo, and let's get it on. I'm war ready. Now, the objective of this was similar to the last information. The methods was used were to conduct an observational study in June of the 28th of June to August 11th of 2020. They enrolled people from, well, let's get on it. The enrolling patients admitted at the National Institute of Cardiovascular Disease Hospital in Bangladesh, or between segment and non-segment elevation, who did not meet WHO criteria for suspected COVID-19. Now, samples were collected by the, let me make sure I say this right. You know what I'm saying? I got enemies now. They want to make videos in the dark. And 9 times out of 10, it ain't even about this, it's about other stuff. So it is nasopharyngeal, all right? It is related to the upper part of the pharynx, connecting with the nasal cavity above the soft palate. So stick some up your nose. So it's what they do, they testing. Anyway, the results was they enrolled 280 people, a medium age range of 54 years old, 140 of them who were diagnosed with STEMI. They found 36, which was 13%, to be infected with SARS-CoV-2, one with influenza. There was no significant difference between mortality rate observed among the SARS-CoV-2 infections. Patients compared with non-infected, a numerically shorter median time to recurrent cardiovascular event was recorded among SARS-CoV-2 infected compared with non-infected patients. They found a substantial rate of occult SARS-CoV-2 infection in the studied cohort, suggesting SARS-CoV-2 may precipitate. Now, asymptomatic patients with COVID-19 admitted with MI may contribute to disease transmission and warrants widespread testing of hospital admission. The rest of the article goes into the study. One of the reasons that I always opt in for a cohort study is because if you look at the hold on, there y'all go. Since Unc is on this big old QR code, and I told him how to pull the QR up, I just never did it. I always put the sources in the chat, and Thunder was gonna show him the long way. Chrome already updated to actually do all of that, so there y'all go. I had the links in the drop. All right, so back to my talking points now. How in the freaking world do we have almost 20 million people walking around at least 17 million people walking around because 3 million were tested. 17 million people walking around potentially unaware of the fact that they actually have SARS-CoV-2. They have a freaking virus. They're infected because they had no signs or symptoms, just like a little slight cough or something like that. They didn't get tested. The thing is that we're all susceptible of doing that when it comes to other things. Like especially us men, like we'll be sick with something, right? And we won't go to the hospital. So this is the case. This is what happened. You had a bunch of women and men ignore signs and symptoms and continue to live their life and potentially spread the virus to a loved one, which may ended up dying or being hospitalized for a while, and they were the reason why. And this is another big reason for the transmission of more infectious variants. Because at the time, the Alpha variant really wasn't making a push through the United States in the earlier months. The Alpha variant became more prevalent in the fall. Like it was here, but it wasn't storming. It was the fall when it took shape. And then we turn a corner and we get to the winter time, and then it's dominating. And then next thing you know, we come into 2021 and Alpha is still dominating. And then we get near the spring, and then next thing you know, Delta is circulating and making its way. And then Delta slowly creeps up, and then Delta dominates the summer. That ain't even a half, because you still have Alpha, you still got Delta, Lambda, you got all these other variants that are circulating. Lambda's been the last one. It's just really taking effect right about around this time. But you have all these different variants bombarding the body. For those of us who actually have received the vaccination, have been fully vaccinated, it is working against all those variants. The variant of concern is the Delta variant. Some of us have not encountered it. Even if we have encountered it, we've had little to no reaction to it. For those who've had a breakthrough infection that was more severe, it poses a different type of a threat. The problem that I have is we have people who don't want to get the vaccine for some personal reason, and then they turn around and say, why do you care? This is why we care, because we had 17 million undiagnosed people transmitting a novel virus to other people. I'm going to say that again. The reason why we care is because we had 17 million undiagnosed people transmitting a novel virus to other people undetected, which poses a threat. Now, I know you're thinking, poses a threat to who? Why do you care? You vaccinated. Well, I have a 9-year-old. He's not vaccinated yet, and he could get infected. You had someone lose their 5-year-old child. You had other people losing children under 10 years old, under 12 years old, sick in the hospital. You had 3 million children who have been infected with COVID-19. A lot of them having, some, sicknesses and things of that nature. But some of them that they ain't talking about died. So it's a big deal that we make the push for people to be vaccinated for multiple reasons. It ain't just because we want you to protect yourself. We want you to protect the people that you're the closest to, like them elderly people and then those children. But no worries. I'm gonna drop a little bit more news on y'all. Some people probably already read it because I put it out there before. But just to give you a little update on your children, your nieces and nephews, and all the other people. Yeah, you see Chavis try to slide that in there on y'all. Don't worry. Moderna's expanding their kids' vaccine study to better assess the safety. So published today. Well, Monday, yeah, today. Um, Moderna said Monday it plans to expand the size of the COVID-19 vaccine study in younger children to better detect rare side effects, such as the type of heart inflammation recently flagged by the U.S. health authorities. The company said it is in talks with the FDA to enroll more study participants under the age of 12. And it had intended to test the vaccine in about 7,000 children, with some as young as 6 months. The Cambridge, Massachusetts-based company said via email it hasn't decided on how many kids might be added. The announcement comes as U.S. COVID cases are rising and schools are prepared to welcome students back to classrooms. At the same time, regulators continue to review cases of rare type of heart inflammation called myocarditis that has been reported in small number of teenagers who got Moderna or Pfizer shots. Pfizer said on Monday that if it makes changes to its vaccine testing in children, it will provide an update then. The New York-based company is testing its vaccine in up to 4,500 children in the United States and Europe. I don't want to too much elaborate elsewhere on that, but that is where we stand with the mRNA evidence. They are expanding the studies to better assess the safety. A little quick, simple, 2-minute read right there, you know, so that we can get the kids protected, because they're gonna have to wear masks in school. If they don't wear masks in school, then they are potentially a new virus hub. So while you got conspiracy theories talking about escaping a lab, you're gonna have a virus in a school, and you know what happened with children and viruses? They spread them to each other. They get sick, you get sick, everybody's sick. Yep, that's how I go. What up, Dave? What up, Morpheus? What's good? What up, Pure? Omar, I think I said that already. Dave, yeah, I already said Dave. What up, Brother Matthews? I'm gonna say that again. So that's just some light work. There's some other stuff that I actually have been communicating with Unc about as far as recent data, but just not to talk about. I know most of y'all are already subscribed to the pseudo killer, so you kind of heard that conversation that was going on with that. Now, the anti-vaccine movement is about uh, Eurocentric privilege. So how do we get mixed up in Eurocentric privilege behooves me, because we're being used again as pawns to perpetrate a fraud. And we're being preyed on by the disinformation campaign that focuses primarily on Black people to play on the L's and the ills of our ignorance. And I'm going to say it again. Yes, kids are at risk of dying from COVID-19. There's a list of studies going out in breast milk that is currently under observation. Some good data coming out about the kids in breast milk. Stay tuned about that. You got people arguing that Certain things are can be passed down through that, and some said that it can't. So you waiting on data from that to fully understand that, and then go from there. Um, Florida's a hotbed. Tennessee is a hotbed. 98% of the patients in Tennessee hospitals are unvaccinated people. Yep. 98% of the people that are hospitalized and that have died in my state are unvaccinated people. And we've seen an uptick, but over the last 3 days, we've seen cases stay around 8% before they were spiking. Now we kind of seeing a little staving off, and it could be because businesses are requiring masks and they are distancing and limiting how many people they want in and out of those businesses. Chavez said if there was only a way to eliminate ignorance, that is a fact. That is a fact. I don't know if y'all are aware of this or not, but I said that on the channel, so I'm not even gonna go back to that. I'm just gonna wait till somebody jump off the porch wrong and we kind of handle the business like that. Um, so I guess I'm gonna begin the portion of this particular video where I'm gonna drop the link in the chat for anybody who wanna argue against any of the information that is shown. And then I am going to share my screen again. And let's go take a walk down Facebook and check out some social media scientists. Oh yeah, y'all already know. Yep. So here we go. Post some, I think I sent them a while ago. U.S. deaths are rising again. Experts call it a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Let's see what we got here. So let's go with the initial. Social media scientist that we all love, Mr. Sherman. More propaganda to get people them shots. This is not the only way out. And I'm asking for some evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, people in the chat, I know y'all don't want me to do this, but this fool said Madagascar, Haiti, and Tanzania, they were all doing fine. Then boom, assassination attempts. So stop it. And then this dude, thousands of vaccinated people are testing positive for COVID-19 in New York City. Just testing positive. And there go, look, our brother Malcolm steps up. Yes, they can still test positive as long as they aren't dying or being hospitalized for severe disease. Then the vaccine is doing what it is supposed to do. And 100% of vaccinated people will not escape the disease, but the odds are in the vaccinated people's favor. And then he says, it is about risk reduction. Oftentimes, people charge science for not being 100% spot on, but biology has never worked that way. And then Cedric says, bullshit. Stop spreading lies to our people. Prove he's lying. FDA warns Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine linked to rare autoimmune disorder. He don't even understand this. So here we go, Malcolm again. Cedric, key word, rare. Rare, right? But yes, there's a risk associated with every single thing you do. And those risks have to be assessed and shared, allowing the worst news about a thing to overshadow the majority of its work is unfair. and dishonest. It's like saying because my car's tires are flat, it's a bad car. When the flat tire is fixable and the rest of the car works amazingly fine. Cedric again. Remember, Unc's an agent. See? See? Here you go. Nearly 30 fully vaccinated Louisiana residents have died with COVID-19. It says Louisiana. That's an entire state. But watch this dude. Look, Mr. Imhotep. Let's see what this video says.
And from there, you want to do tiering in various countries to make sure your most vulnerable populations get it. In our country, that would be Blacks and Native Americans, people with underlying health conditions.
I'm going to stop right there. So we all heard this old video before, right? So he goes and he puts this 2 hours ago. Do you think these clowns care so much about us that we should be stuck before them? Man, I can't spell. Jeez. So that's my reply. My reply is first off, you are aware that over 160 million people are vaccinated, and the first people vaccinated were Europeans, right? You do know this outdated video was speaking to several points. We are underprivileged healthcare wise, and we are more exposed or prone to being infected due to our living situations and reliability in public transportation. So yeah, I put my 2 cents in. Here we go again. This is an article that I shared with Unc. I actually mentioned this about the 98% COVID deaths, 97% hospitalizations. I kind of gave y'all that mail. He don't get a response on that. Cool. It's clear coast. All right. He throws up something here, and as you can see, we got CK on here. She doing her promoting. But look, he talking about, look, getting your information from TikTok and all of that. And your boy said F the vaccines. And then Willie Mobley says that is why this country is now on fire with the new variant. He continues on to go. The way you say fuck the vaccine, I say fuck the mask. Walking around feeling like someone is pinching my nose doesn't work for me. Fuck it for COVID-19. He said, look, thanks to the vaccine, I don't have to rock a mask anymore. You still need to rock your mask, Willie. You get the new variant. And then this dude says, yeah, right. So we're going to continue a little bit more. He's talking about DNA and genetic markers. How many people bet that somebody bring up COVID? Who want to bet? Who want to bet? Yeah, I might be lucky on this one. Might be lucky. Might be lucky, y'all. Almost at the end. They stuck to the subject. Wow. Ding, 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 ding. Rizza Islam joins Alex Jones August 3rd. It's gonna be somebody. It's a female on this post. She dang, they put Malachi York and all that. It's a female on here somewhere unless she got deleted. Or she do it on another post. And he go to Egypt stuff again. Shot it Varian. Another shot at Varian. And then the information dozen. Of course, that's gonna bring out some people. This dude, I think did we touch on this? I'm gonna just leave it right there. I don't even want to do that. Cause that dude crazy out of his mind. But let me check and see. Nobody want to join? For real? Word. Remember the last person that said if your vaccine end up dying, that dude he got whacked out. She need a crazy. James got his kids on the update on the Moderna. So he trying to get his kids a part of. Sutek going to hell for this Dr. Sabi with chakras. Looking like Morpheus from, oh yeah, that is. Not Morpheus. Was it Morpheus? Oh man, he got herbs in one hand and what is that in the other hand? Oh man, that's a cold game, yo. That's a cold game. Knew he was gonna have a bar about Tuskegee. Okay. He didn't want to talk to Unc. Nah, he didn't want to talk to Unc. If I hear Varian say Wooly Kinky Nappy Head Africans one more time, yeah. How you contract HIV at 75. Yep, it's straight up appeal to emotion. Okay, y'all talking about Willie D. Why is Sarnetta live talking about the Hebrews saying he got HIV? Huh? Maybe he do. Maybe you do. But nah, man, I just wanted to come live real quick and just kind of keep everybody abreast of some of the information that's going around. But 17 million undiagnosed. Imagine how many people are walking around now. Virus shedding. Y'all don't remember I did that on the Mossy? Talked about virus shedding, viral shedding. People who are very unfamiliar with viruses and what they do, I'm going to share something with you real quick. When you talk about 17 million undiagnosed, they go through a stage of viral shedding. So what's viral shedding? When an individual gets infected by a respiratory virus, the virus particles will bind to the various types of viral receptors, particularly the angiotensin converting enzyme, which is the ACE2 receptors in the case of SARS-CoV-2 that line in the respiratory tract. Throughout this ongoing process, infected individuals who may not yet be experiencing any of the viral symptoms are shedding viral particles while they talk, exhale, eat, and perform other normal daily activities. That is what viral shedding is. It happens when infected individuals who may not have any symptoms are shedding particles while they talk, eat, sleep, shit, drink, cuss, work out, travel. Yes, that. Now, under normal circumstances, viral shedding would not persist for more than a few weeks. However, as research gained a more in-depth understanding of viral clearance of SARS-CoV-2, they found that certain populations will shed this virus much longer. So, what they are telling us is that viral shedding for other viruses are usually within 2 weeks on average. But in some people can shed the virus for longer than that. It potentially can be a month or a month and a half. Remember, these are asymptomatic people that are walking around with no signs of symptoms, talking to people, reacting to people, going to restaurants, going to the bank, going to games, indoor events, art classes, whatever, at the mall with you. You don't know nothing about these people, but they are shedding the virus. Now, the duration of virus shedding can be used to categorize the infectivity of a person. Therefore, this information is crucial in implementing effective infection prevention strategies, such as appropriate quarantine durations and mask requirement. This is one of the reasons why they said to quarantine for 14 days for asymptomatic people, so that they can prevent exposure to other people and the virus can shed. But in those people with more, a duration, what can they say? If you were working somewhere, they'll retest you. And if you still test positive, then you got to go back in quarantine. I do know some people who got retested a couple of times and couldn't go back to work until they tested positive. For instance, my homeboy Michi, when he caught COVID, um, he was out for 2 weeks. He was messed up. He was drinking orange juice, all this. He even went live, told people the COVID was real. This is when people thought it was a hoax. And the whole nine, this last year. Well, in order for him to come back to work, because that's where he got it from, somebody that he was working with had it. In order for him to come back to work, he had to test negative. He went and took a test and he still tested positive. So he went back home. And then they told him he had to take 3 tests. He had to pass all 3 tests before he could come back to work. All 3 tests had to be negative for him to come back. Now, look what they say in the article. Currently, SARS-CoV infection is confirmed with positive polymerase chain reaction PCR test that can be conducted regardless of whether an individual is experiencing symptoms. Through the PCR test, virus shedding of SARS-CoV-2 has been found to have a medium duration between 12 and 20 days, with a persistence that can reach up to 63 days after initial symptom onset. 63 days. That's 2 months. Whereas about 90% of mild cases have found to clear the virus within an average of 10 days after symptom onset. Individuals who have recovered from severe disease have been found to have prolonged viral RNA shedding with a median duration of 31 days. So let's look at Delta variant facts. So here's 5 things that we know about the Delta variant in layman's term. Yeah, Sutek, he was drinking plenty of orange juice. He was drinking Sprite. He was just trying to drink something to stay hydrated because he kept feeling dehydrated, and it took him forever to go to the bathrooms, and he wasn't eating any food or anything like that. So people at the time, this is a time. Actually, this was earlier on in the pandemic. This was like March, April, somewhere around there. So there's no real remedies or any type of treatment that could help him do whatever. So he was down in NyQuil, and you know what I'm saying? He was doing those things. He couldn't sleep. His body was irking. As soon as he would go to sleep, he would wake right back up. His sleep was on and off. He said that persisted for at least a week and a half. And then he began to get some relief as the time progressed. So 5 things about this variant. You see, these are the people involved in the related specialists over here. And then you have, your source to article people. Excuse me. This was published on the 22nd of July. Updated in July 22nd. So 1, Delta is more contagious than the other virus strands. 2, unvaccinated people are at risk. 3, Delta could lead to hyperlocal outbreaks. 4, there's still more to learn about Delta. 5, vaccinations is the best protection against Delta. Now, I ran those down specifically because I was talking about viral shedding. When you're dealing with a variant that is more infectious and transmissible, which is what the Delta variant is, you will have issues with shedding. Shedding is going to happen. So here it says Delta is the name of the B16172 7.2 variant. It's a mutation from the original surfaced in India. The first case was December 2020. Strand spread rapidly, both in India and Great Britain. Toward the end of June, Delta had already made up to 20% of the cases in the U.S., according to CDC. And by the end of July, more than 80% of the new U.S. COVID-19 cases. Now, Vince Racking Yellow has an issue with blaming the Delta variant as the lone reason for infectivity. And that's because he's just familiar with viruses like that. So he's going to take offense to blaming one variant over another one. And the reason why he can do that is because when that 90-year-old woman died, she was tested for, she had 2 variants in her. She had the Alpha and the Delta. Right. All right. So again, here's some other key components. The Delta is spreading 50% faster than the Alpha, which is 50% more contagious than the original strand of SARS-CoV-2. So imagine a variant spreading much faster than the Alpha variant, which was 50% more contagious from the original strand. Estimates the average person infected the original coronavirus strand will infect 2.5 other people. In the same environment, Delta will spread from one person to maybe 3.5 or 4 other people. So if you're in the presence of the Delta variant and you're unvaccinated, it is likely to spread to 4 y'all within that encounter. Don't let them sneeze. If they sneeze, that's even more. One person that's infected with the Delta that may have asymptomatic response and is virus shedding can infect 4 people immediately. Has the potential of affecting those close contact 4 people. Let me say it like that. Cedric Brown. I already dealt with Robert Malone. Um, we dealt with Robert Malone the last time I did a show. People are using him as some type of leverage, but he ain't all of what people make him out to be. My bad. And because I play like music or whatever, or video or whatever, they kind of moved this bill to here. And as you can see, muting the noise, the case of Dr. Robert Malone. So that answers your question. Do I know anything about Robert Malone? Absolutely do. I know a lot. Let's see how quick they go. Boom. They go to answer to Robert Malone right there, my brother. But yeah, so and now y'all are starting to understand why a long time ago I talked about virus shedding. We talked about transmission. We talked about infection. We talked about how viruses work. We talk about how we inhabit we inhabit the earth, and how we become more exposed to new viruses the more we populate the earth. Yeah, check that out. Check the Robert Malone out. It's some good science in that. Some good science in that. People are using him incorrectly, and he is also using himself incorrectly, because guess what? He's saying he the creator of mRNA vaccines. He ain't got nothing technology. He ain't got nothing to do with the SARS-CoV-2, because SARS-CoV-2 wasn't around. So he had nothing to do with all that. Keenan said, let me stay my ass in the house. Well, you vaccinated. So you're afforded some protection. So even if you come into contact with it, and if you do have a breakthrough infection, the worst you will have is an asymptomatic response. But you're not going to be transmissible. You're not going to be transmissible. So the vaccine will be actually working for you, whereas it's not going to do that for unvaccinated people. They're going to go through it. But now you see the pieces coming together. We get exposed to a virus. We shed the virus. If we shed the virus, if we're asymptomatic, we shed the virus. Other people come into contact with the virus. What happens is, with the new Delta variant, we're going to infect more people. Whereas you was infecting 1 or 2 people before, you're now infecting almost double that now, because the Delta variant is 50% more. What? 50% more what? For the people in the back? What is it? Exactly. I know the audience is like, people who watching the replay might be like, what are you talking about? But it's what I just said. 50% spreads 50% more than the alpha variant, which is 50% more contagious. Remember, we just mentioned that, right? So again, man, I don't want to so vaccinated people have no virus shedding. Good question. No, Cedric might answer. Nah, he ain't gonna answer. So there's a fact-checking article, right, that was published in May. It says COVID-19 vaccinated people don't shed viral particles from the vaccine. But that was to kill some pseudo conspiracy theories. But what you're asking is, virus, do we shed like an infected person? No. I ain't even gonna give you no science on that. I'm just gonna answer the question. We don't have the transmissible issue. Remember when we talked about if we could transmit the disease to other people, right? Remember when we talked about that? Some people say it's possible. Um, some people say it's a lower rate, but we don't do the virus shedding thing, but it's just lower rate. I'm gonna say based on the science that we talked about as far as transmitting it to other people, we've seen a reduction in the transmission. But that transmission could be people with poor immune systems, like the elderly people or autoimmune compromised people, because they their immune system is compromised. That's why they trying to get them a third booster shot and not regular people. They trying to give autoimmune people extra shots because I think it was one lady who was autoimmune and she had 3 vaccines and she didn't have any protection until she got that third vaccine because the first 2 was just duped. Yeah, I mean, you could look at it and say if you have a breakthrough, but you got to have a breakthrough. Not everybody gonna have a breakthrough. There's a certain percentage of people that will have a breakthrough, and the people and that percentage of people are people that's more likely to have breakthrough are women, and they're over the age of 65, and they're correct. Yeah, less likely. Nah, you ain't gonna have to worry about passing. It's less likely. You ain't got to worry about trying to pass that to nobody. Plus, you're going to know. So if you have some type of response to a breakthrough infection, you're going to know because you're vaccinated. Hey man, look, subscribe to the channel, man. Like the show, share the show, tell a friend, tell a friend. We just hit the 100 mark, 100 bun. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Shout out to the homie man, Juan Vasquez. Shout out to the homie man. I ain't heard from you in a minute, bro, but peace to you, bro. I appreciate everything. You already know what it is, man. All day, every day. Uh, Let me see what's going on. Sean, you seen this article called Evolvability of Emerging Viruses by Donald S. Burke? I ain't even gonna lie to you, Cedric. No. Let me see. I'll look it up real quick. Appreciate the title. Let's see what Burke talking about. Evolve ability of emerging viruses. So they go to page 7. I gotta pull the article up first, bro. By Burke, right? Yeah, you said Burke. You know what? I seen this, but I don't think I read this. Uh-huh. I seen it, but I ain't read it. Yeah, so he's saying the basic Viv model. Okay, what I'm looking for. All right, given the considerable attention focus of emerging diseases, it is striking how little discussion there is about on how we, the human species, might predict and prevent rather than simply detect and react to future pandemics. Facts. To do so requires a rational approach to risk assessment. I propose 3 criteria to identify a set of virus families that pose the greatest risk for a new global pandemic. The first criterion is the most obvious: recent pandemics in human history. Those viruses already proven to cause human pandemics are clearly able to do so again. These are influenza, HIV, and enterovirus 70. The second criterion is proven ability to cause major epidemics in non-human or animal populations. Here are a different but overlapping set of virus families is identified, including uh, Orthomyxoviridae, Perimyxoviridae, and Coronaviridae, of course, the families. Third paragraph. All right, okay. 1, 2, 3. Third criterion. This is what you want me to read? It's third paragraph. Third criterion reflects the thesis that I have tried to build in the chapter. The intrinsic evolvability confers on a virus the potential of emerge into and to cause pandemics in human populations. Virus families have proven high mutation rates and which have genomic organizational features that foster recombination meet this criterion. These include the following viruses that I just mentioned, even the retroviridae and the reoviridae. All right, some of these viruses, particularly those in the coronaviridae and the related arterioviridae, should be considered as serious threats to human health, obviously. These are the viruses with a high evolvability and proven ability to cause epidemics in animal population. Ching ching. Whence and when will new viruses emerge? Of the 68 virus genre that are known to infect vertebrae, 47 are already known to infect humans. The remaining 21 virus genre are thought to infect only non-human vertebrates. Of the 10 large DNA viruses that are likely to successful species to humans, 2 are small DNA viruses, 3 are RNA viruses, and to infect only fish and fowl. This leaves 6 genera of RNA viruses that routinely affect other mammals but are not known to infect humans. Yep, that we do know of. Yeah, it's that, but the just understanding viruses and the evolution of viruses would help you see why the author Burke will come to that conclusion regarding the coronaviruses will be more dangerous and evolvability, right? Because of zoonotic spillover and its ability to go from, you know what I'm saying, to go from some type of animal to a human being. Yeah, well, they've been doing it. Yeah, 1998, American Society of Microbiology, Washington D.C. I'm telling you, I've seen this before. I just didn't read it. I had it pulled up. Let's go check his sources out. There you go. Look at that recombination of HIV, his own work, global distribution of immunodeficiency viruses. He got some smoke in here. Look at that, Darwin's dangerous idea, evolution and the meaning of life. The origin of genetic information, viruses as models. The evolutionary advantage of recombination. The evolutionary advantage of combination 2. And his work's been updated. His work's been updated, bro. That's why Vincent Racaniello and Amy and all of them are so, prevalent because of work like this. Like they can, you see how science work. Like this dude worked. This is a 1998 article, right? But they can take some research like this and advance it based on new and available data that they have regarding DNA and RNA viruses. Because in 1998, they were still trying to figure out how to resolve something in RNA, mRNA technology to get the science up to date. And when was 98? Shoot, I was around 18 or 19 or one of them. Your boy said he's saying, nah, you didn't see no Madam Blavatsky. Out over here, homie, she don't get no play in the field of science. Pseudoscience now. You might catch her in pseudoscience. You ain't gonna catch her over here in the science column. No, sir. Now, no H.W. Madame Blavatsky. No, sirree. She don't get no play over here. She stay over in a crazy column. Let me see what else. Yeah, so, but that's not it though. But watch this. Let's go back, right? Let's go back and let's go to a whole nother article and let's see if we can find a more updated publishment. See, that's 98, this 99, 2009, 2005, 2021, Principles of the Virus Evolvability, blah, 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 blah. This is maps in human and mosquito. That ain't what we want. But it's up to date. Viral host range evolvability changes in response to fluctuating section. It's 2019. See what I'm saying? Look, selectomic and evolvability analysis of highly pathogenic beta coronavirus SARS-CoV-2. This is what scholarship is doing. It's evolving. It's doing what people are afraid to do. While we want to stay stuck, it is evolving. While we want to act like we don't want to get a vaccine, it's evolving. SARS-CoV-2, the causative agent of COVID-19 widespread. So the full text right here, the abstract is easily can be read. But Chavis, you should be familiar with this because this actually, when it dropped last year, this was talked about brought up. Yep. I don't want to read none of that though. But what I'm just saying though is over time, how you can just take you take a found, how do you build a house, right? You gotta have a solid foundation and you gotta have a methodology, because if your method is wrong, your house will fall. If your tools, if the tools you're using are not refined or evolutionary minded, you could construct a home that will fall sooner than later. So when we're talking about, nah, I don't want the vaccine, nah, I'm straight, I don't trust the vaccine, or this, that, and the third, or all this other Yiddish, right? You're not thinking about nobody else, you're thinking about yourself. It's all about you. And then, but you're propagating race first. Oh, black power. Oh, I do stuff for my people. Y'all just do this, that, and the third. Or you're making these arguments to say whatever it is that you're trying to say. And I'm speaking to someone in particular who's going through a situation, who always talk about making amends and trying to do something for the people. Well, we're trying to do something for the people, and here you are saying that you don't want to do something because you're being selfish. And you know who I'm talking to specifically. You're dealing with something severe, and yet nobody has heard a peep from you because you're going through something, and we wish you well through what you're going through. But at the same time, you are making yourself susceptible to even more risk or potential death. And you have a little one to consider that you know dang on well nobody's going to take care of properly but you. You're one of the potential 17 million undiagnosed people who are a threat to mankind. You're either going to cause severe disease or kill someone. You are a walking threat. The only thing is that you're not like Reza Islam and all the social media scientists who have no studies, who have no published journals, no peer-reviewed articles, any of that, to argue. If you think a dang Navy bean is going to prevent somebody from being sick, you out of your damn mind. But man, I've been on here long enough and I don't want to hold nobody up. Just want to give me something to drink, lay down and fall asleep. Well, take me a shower first, of course. And drink me some apple juice, because that's what I'm going to drink. I'm going to drink apple juice. Or juicy juice, because it's got to be 100% juice. I've already had over a gallon of water. Not drinking no more water. I wish I had some chocolate covered or yogurt flavored raisins. I would tear them up right about now. Y'all crazy. Yep. So Black Power is defined by the advancement of your people. That's Black Power. Black Power would be doing proper research and making sure that we educate our people and that they are well informed. That's Black Power. Black Power would be going in and learning the methodology behind the information so that we could make an informed decision while telling our people without subjecting them to ignorance. That's Black Power. Black Power is having the ability to stand firm and understand what the science says from the experts, right? And be able to disseminate that information and share it with others so that we all can make an informed decision based on a sound conclusion and not he say, she say, speculative bullcrap. Trey said, you speak on people getting both shots but still getting COVID. Trey Smith, if you're unaware of people being vaccinated, there's several ways that you can be infected with virus. Now, let's say you have football players, fully vaccinated football players. Which vaccine did these football players take? Did they get Johnson & Johnson, a one-shot vaccine that may be 60% infectious against the Delta variant, or 54% infectious against the Delta variant? I'm assuming, or even the Pfizer, which is also 64%. In American studies, some say 64% to 72% infectious against the Delta variant, or Moderna, which is 88%, over 80% infectious against the Delta variant. However, even if it's over 50%, it is still good. The thing about it is the Delta variant is elusive. It knows how to evade certain parts of the immune system, which causes infection. However, it reduces hospitalization and death, which is what you want. I can't confirm if Rich Eisen got the Moderna vaccine or if he was even whatever. He would be the first person that I would know of that could identify something like that. 5 days ago, says he has COVID. So breakthrough infections happen. No vaccine is 100%. We see a reduction in hospitalization and deaths. That's what we've been talking about. He was infected with the Delta variant, which is that. It doesn't uncover which vaccine that he actually took. And I'm reading from several sources here. That is not known to us. So we really can't be specific about which vaccine he took unless we could find him saying or showing his vaccination card expressing you know, exactly what happened with him. Because when people say fully vaccinated, people can get both vaccines, and it ain't even been 15 days after the second vaccine, and you've been infected. You could be infected before you even receive the vaccine. You see what I'm saying? So you could be you. We don't know the period of infectivity to draw that conclusion. Now, I still haven't found anything that can confirm which vaccine that Rich had. So I don't want to put too much stake in that. Either way it goes, we don't know if he was in between shots, if he was infected in between shots, or if he just basically was infected altogether. But you know, his symptoms are going to be reduced, and he's going to tell you his symptoms will be reduced. He had pretty much a mild fever reaction or something like that. Okay. Did he tweet which vaccine did he have? Because I'm looking for any information from Rich, and uh, he ain't showing up. I mean, we know that he was a proponent for getting the vaccine, but um, I don't know unless we find a Twitter, and I don't have Twitter, so unless you find his tweet regarding which vaccination that he had, then that would be helpful. He said Pfizer. Okay, thank you. So he said he got Pfizer 2-shot, got them back in February. Yeah, well, Pfizer is less transmit. I mean, you got less protection against the Delta variant if you got Pfizer. Not saying that it doesn't work because he seems to be fine. But on July 15th, he said double vaxxed, COVID plus, it's possible, be careful, still get vaccinated. He's still telling people to get vaccinated. You see what I'm saying? Like the ignorance is not there with them. It's a different type of a ball game between Rich Eisen's community and our community. Imagine that. Rich is promoting you still get the vaccine, whereas our people are gonna look at him like he crazy and think, for what? You still got infected. But yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Those P dogs, them P dogs tripping, man. He said the vax tripping up in here. Yeah, man, we Moderna over here, homie. Yeah, well, your female friend, she got COVID and refused to get the vaccine is on her. She'll be susceptible to reinfection in no time. And it may come back worse than before. And yeah, that's just because of ignorance, bro. I mean, it's just like building your own utopia. You know, not everybody's going to believe in your dream or your building a utopia. Therefore, you know, certain things happen. So that's that on that. What up, Robert Rand? Yeah, I'm finna slide though, man. Finna slide. I appreciate everybody tuning in, man. I'm finna go hop in the shower, like I said, man. Drink me some apple juice. I ain't got nothing else going on, you know what I mean? fall asleep. Hey, make sure y'all go get Beautiful Lessons of Kimoyo. Stay tuned for Volume 4 from the Kofi Pie research team. Also look out for what SARS-CoV-2 taught me, and the coming of Islam in the land of the blacks by me. So hopefully, I hope that y'all would uh, purchase both books when they come out. I mean, all 4 books. Hopefully, y'all already got Kofi book, but hopefully, y'all will purchase the other 3 books that's about to come out, and any other books that come out, because I guarantee you this, what the SARS-CoV-2 book did work, you're gonna appreciate that. I stuck to the science. I try to deliver the science. I didn't try to veer away from the science. I give you my take on certain information, my perspective on certain information. I walk you through what I learned, the process. So I want you to remember this is a method. There's a process involved in this particular text. There's some other stuff that's inside the text that you're going to find very useful and helpful in educating and learning. And at the end of the book, I talk a little bit about the origins of SARS-CoV-2, and it's heavily sourced. I think there was 100 and something sources. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was a lot of sources in that information that was available. And some of the fact-checking information, I just let the fact-checking data stand. I didn't want to summarize certain parts of that because I didn't want to take away from the text. I wanted to deliver it in a way that you could see how these people came to the conclusion themselves. This is not me saying this, right? I didn't want it to, especially with the fact-checking portion. I didn't want people to feel like Sean saying this. So where's the the proof? You know what I mean? I put cohort studies in the book. I got some nice cohort studies to back me up. It's a lot of data that people can refer to and utilize. Hopefully, I think I made it where you even could kill some of the noise on social media. Not that people who are anti-vax or talking crap on social media going to buy the book, but I hopefully I did a book where at least 50 to 100 people would be interested in this. If not, then children in the future, when they look back at, they hear about the coronavirus or SARS-CoV-2, a pandemic that killed almost 5 million people and growing to this day. We don't even know the full amount. It's going to go from there. So on that note, man, hopefully y'all enjoy that work. I'm going to say Shimon Hotep, and I appreciate everybody down with your boy.